Leadership vocabulary. Everyone aspires to leadership, and workplaces seek individuals embodying these qualities. Developing these traits within yourself is crucial to moving forward in your career. One important aspect to focus on is communication. How you speak plays a significant role in projecting leadership and confidence. The good news is, it's not as complicated as it seems. It's simply about rewording what you say. A shift in vocabulary can completely transform how you come across and shape your attitude. Let us now look at some of the do's and don'ts to sound like a leader. Don't over-apologize. Please note, this doesn't mean you should never apologize. Just be mindful not to overdo it. Take a moment to reflect on questions like, how often do I apologize at work? Or, what situations do I apologize for? Apologizing frequently can become a habit, one that's worth breaking. In some cultures, people apologize to maintain harmony, even when they're not at fault. However, in the workplace, excessive apologies can make you appear less confident, potentially leading others to question your abilities. If you're in or aiming for a leadership position, it's crucial to project confidence. Your colleagues should never doubt your competence or feel that you're insecure, indecisive, or weak. Some examples of apologizing unnecessarily can be, I am sorry, can you help me with this? Sorry to disturb you, can I borrow your pen? Sorry, what are your thoughts on this presentation? The trick is to rephrase what you are saying. Instead of saying sorry for the mistake, you can say something like, thank you for pointing it out. I will address it. Oh, I appreciate your feedback on this. I will note it in the future. Instead of saying, sorry for the extra work you had to put in, you can say, thanks for putting the extra effort. Instead of saying, sorry to interrupt, try saying, I would like to jump in here for a moment. Don't minimize your accomplishments. It's a common misconception that humility is a defining trait of a leader. While it holds some truth, humility doesn't mean downplaying your skills or failing to recognize your strengths. It's not about being arrogant or boastful, but when someone compliments you, accept it graciously. If you're uncomfortable discussing your accomplishments, others may not realize how skilled you are. Remember, leaders are aware of their worth and carry themselves with confidence. Avoid speaking negatively about yourself or diminishing your achievements in the workplace. Sharing your accomplishments is a delicate balance. Instead of bragging, which can signal insecurity, speak about them with gratitude and in a straightforward manner, then move on. For example, if you want to talk about your team's accomplishments, you can say something like, we were grateful to have played a key role in our client exceeding their revenue goals. Oh, our team managed to cut customer complaints by 50%. Here, even though you have used the words our and team, it will be obvious that you have played a central role in those accomplishments and also reflect your right attitude. It can be safe to say, humility is a good trait to have, just not at the workplace. Eliminate uncertainty in your speech. Leaders are expected to project confidence through both their actions and their words. This means eliminating language that conveys doubt or hesitation. They must strike a balance between being receptive to others' opinions and confidently expressing their viewpoint. Clear, decisive language is key to effectively communicating and making a strong impression. Here are some of the examples of uncertain statements, and look at the alternatives. Instead of saying, I am not sure, you can say, I haven't come across that situation as yet. Instead of saying, I think, or I feel, you can use predictive language and say, I anticipate, or I predict, which can communicate that you have a clear vision of the future. While this may not always be feasible, particularly when the situation is uncertain, aim to communicate clearly and concisely whenever possible. However, navigating uncertainty is inherent to a leader's daily responsibility. Let us look at a few more examples to understand this better. Instead of saying, I think, or I believe, Try saying, based on the data, it appears that. Oh, from my analysis, it is clear that. Instead of saying, I am sure or I am not certain, try saying, I need to verify whether. Oh, let me confirm before I make a recommendation. Instead of, I don't know, try saying, I don't have that information currently. Oh, I'm currently not in a position to answer that. Instead of saying, I will try saying, I will make it happen. Oh, I will do my best to ensure that it's done. One more point to remember, avoid raising doubts with unnecessary questions at the end of your statements. This doesn't mean you shouldn't ask questions, but rather that you should ask them in a way that fosters clarity, not uncertainty. Instead of saying, does that make sense? Or, you understand what I mean? Try saying, do you have any questions? Oh, what are your thoughts on this? Instead of saying, I will try saying, I will do my best to get it completed. Oh, we will do everything in our power to deliver it to the client on time. Some of us unintentionally create doubts with our speech. For example, some of us ask questions out of habit. However, if you need to ask a question, do it in a way that adds clarity rather than uncertainty. Let us take an example of a typical conversation in a team meeting. If your team has asked for inputs about a recent client proposal, you can say something like, we await the client's response and will revise our proposal based on their feedback. Do you have any thoughts on that? Oh, if the team wants feedback on their latest work. Based on my experience, our CEO gets most excited about building something new rather than proposals that update existing projects. Does that raise any questions for you? Such deliberate questions make the conversations more focused. By implementing these small adjustments, you'll be cultivating the qualities necessary to evolve into a future leader.